Hi there, my name is Naresh Nagesh Nayak. I'm right now the manager of Cafe Mysore. My mother, Shanteri Nagesh Nayak, owns this cafe. We started in 1936 in British India. We have seen several events of history, and Cafe Mysore has survived several events of history. Very disruptive events, if you call them so. The end of the World War. Then there was the independence movement, independence. Then there was a food shortages of the 1970s. A. Ramanak started his journey with Cafe Mysore started in, I think it was in 1958, and back then, there was a lot. He had to battle a lot of things like high inflation. Back then, you had a license in terms of how many people you could feed, and he was given a very small license. And within that, and within the quality of grain that he had and the quality of inputs, he was able to do a fabulous job. It was from what I heard from my father. It was this was the property of the Maharaja of Mysore. That's what I was told as a young kid. Eventually, what happened was in 1958, my grandfather comes in and he takes this cafe and he starts running it. He takes it on conducting basis. That's what you call it. And since then, it has been in the Nayak family. Yeah, so we live. This area is Matunga of Mumbai. Matunga is nothing but the word Matanga. Matanga was nothing but elephant stable, a place where elephants were kept. The king's elephants were kept in this area. So as you can see, there's still traces of that around. It's a very South Indian area. It's a very South Indian vibe. There are many temples around. And we are a South Indian restaurant. So basically, Matunga and South India are very synonymous, and you can say joined at the hip. Yeah, the highest selling item is obviously idli and coffee, like very traditional fare, and dosas are very high selling as well. So the Ambani family, we've had an association for like 50 years now actually. This time is the 50th year. I think Mr. Mukesh Ambani started in 1974. Today we are in 2024. That marks 50 years. He's been coming long before I was even born. So, I've seen him as a kid. I've seen him dine up here. They usually used to sit in the AC section to the right of me. When we went to the wedding, I was not even sure if we will meet the family. But then it happened, it just happened. And after that, when we went on the stage, Mr. Anant Ambani and his wife and his sister-in-law and his brother-in-law were like so overjoyed looking at my mother. It felt like years of effort has culminated into this moment, and it felt like a lifetime achievement award for my mother. I was obviously on the verge of tears. I was very overwhelmed, and when I headed back, it was like, what just happened? The entire situation was pregnant with a purport. That purport was something so huge and so unimaginable. I could not even understand what just happened on the stage. Ambani family is a very regular customer of Cafe Mysore, and they order every weekend at the minimum, but sometimes it goes to two to three times a week. The Ambani family likes food like idli, upmas, dosas, and like the key to the Ambani stomach is a well-made chutney which is very fresh. We are a very conservative cafe. Cafe Mysore is extremely conservative with a very contemporary outlook. What that means is we've kept our core conservative values, but at the same time we have evolved to the extent where there are trends in food that happen, and we have caught on to those trends. I can give a good example is these are the dishes in front of me, which are very non-traditional. So this is nothing but idli fry, but it's in peri peri. That's one of the dishes. This is like what I call as Dilkhush dosa. So Dilkhush dosa is something that it's like pizza. All the elements you have in a pizza is in the dosa. You have capsicum, you have tomatoes, you have cheese, and then you have, of course, the potato filling, which is the traditional South Indian potato filling, and you have the crepe, the dosa. So it is what you can say is contemporary as well as traditional. Another invention we've done is the traditional South Indian coffee that you have. A lot of people are lactose intolerant. So we've introduced vegan options for that, for the coffee, and you can ask for tea as well in vegan. And then we have the vegan cold coffee, which competes directly with Starbucks. I mean, I'm on record saying this. It's Mr. Ambani's request. So the story is as follows. In the early times, it's not now, but in the early times when the Ambanis used to order, the air hostess herself would come with a tiffin and say, can you just fill this up with food that we've requested? And then the manager casually asks her, Madam, where are you heading to this time? And she said that our supply flight is going to Paris. Mr. Ambani is right now in Paris, and he specifically asked us to bring your food on the supply flight. So that was a very strange request. I say every customer is our celebrity. We love you, but just to answer your question on celebrities, one story that comes to mind is Indira Gandhi had our coffee. The Indian cricket team, various members have come here. Raj Kapoor was one of our very esteemed clientele. The legacy is obviously built over decades, and the key part of this idea of legacy is to continue the legacy. What that means is all the parameters that existed prior to COVID is what I had to continue and standardize and maintain. I believe that largely I've been able to maintain that legacy that my forefathers and my father and my mother, who ran this restaurant prior to me for 10 years, did. And I think we've kept the taste constant, we've kept our suppliers constant. Most of our key staff is still the same, and therefore the legacy continues.